Good morning. I'm Oscar from BBC News, and I'm talking about how mental health and sports impact each other. I made a 5 to 6 minute audio package on interviewing people that play sports, and I also interviewed a psychologist about problems, and there were some interesting responses. My name is Oscar, and my project today is how mental health affects sports. I'm here with Will Judd.
Hello.
I will be asking you questions about mental health and how it relates to you. Do you get nervous or stressed out before your games, and what part of the game makes you the most nervous?
Yes, most definitely before games I am nervous, depending on sort of what games are. Sometimes I have big games, always really nervous. But the main way I focus about it is just getting my head in the right zone and not thinking about the negatives, just thinking about the positives.
Yep, that's a good answer. So, do you lose confidence throughout the game if you aren't playing how you want to play?
Sometimes yes, like when I'm playing a game and I know I'm not going to perform it, or I know I'm not performing at my maximum capacity or like my normal game, it sometimes bring me down. But then I just got to think about I can't just bring myself down because that would affect the team as well. So I just got to focus on the positives as well.
Yeah. So, do you do anything that would help your mind before games and get you focused?
Normally before games, I like to listen to some music just to get my head in a calm place, and then during my warm up prior to the game, just focusing on the key things that I know are prior for me to like stuff up sort of in a way, like just focusing on them to get them right, so I know less of a chance of having a poor game, and just thinking about the end result of the game, what I want to achieve in the end.
Yeah, I also think music is a good choice before games. And I'm here with Rico Steer. He plays rugby.
Hello.
Hi, so I'll be asking you a few questions. So the first one is, do you get nervous or stressed before your games, and what part of the game makes you the more stressed?
Yes, I get quite nervous in my games, but I have to say it's mainly before the games. Like once the game's underway, the stress seems to go away.
Yeah, it's pretty common for people to get nervous before games. So for the second question is, has sports affected you mentally?
Yeah, I think it has, because there's a lot of pressure on you sometimes to perform from other people, your parents, and the pressure of winning just gets you sometimes.
Yeah, there's a lot of pressure in big games. So for the last question is, do you do anything that will help your mind before games or in the middle of games?
Yeah, so normally I just, before my games, take a couple deep breaths and try to block out all the noise from the crowd and stuff, and just try to go out and remember why I'm playing, to have fun.
Yeah, having fun is one of the most important parts of sports. I asked a psychologist some questions about mental health in sports, and she emailed me back some answers, so here are some of her answers. First question I asked why do people start to lose confidence and focus when they're under pressure in a sports game? And she said,
People can lose confidence when there is a fear of failure, when they have made a mistake, if they feel they haven't done the pre-game rituals the right way, if the sense that people aren't expected to fail.
Yep, thanks. And for the second question I asked if there are any ways for athletes to train themselves mentally to become mentally fit.
Yep. Athletes can do work with sports psychologists to do work on developing these mental skills. The 5 main mental skills are goal setting, imaginary, relaxation, self-talk, and mental plan.
Yeah, that's a good answer. And for the third question I asked if it was normal to lose confidence or start to get stressed out and mentally affected by this.
It's absolutely normal to lose confidence, as it is things didn't go according to plan inside the outside of the high performance sport. If a person didn't perform the way they had expected or below what they thought they were capable of, people can start to get affected by the different ways.
Yeah, and for the last question, I asked if any of her patients go to her for sports psychology.
I work primarily in clinical psychology, so that's mental health and working and supporting those mental illness. As part of that role, I do have some clients that I see that are involved in high performance or elite national level sport.
I also think it is useful. Those were some great answers. As you heard from the audio, there are a lot of problems, and this is why you should also train yourself mentally and not just physically. There were some great tips on what to do if you're stressed in the middle of a game, such as breathing. Thanks for listening.
Hi and good morning. Welcome to Rugby News. My name is PJ Palamo and today's topic we'll be talking about the changes in rugby in New Zealand and what has changed since we first started playing it from 1870 to today. Today we have reported PJ Palamo going down at Christ College which he will be interviewing 3 first 15 players, Liam Jack, Levi Astle and Flynn Topham, on what their thoughts on the game are. Now on to PJ. So my first interview is with the starting lock of the first 15, Liam Jack. Hi Liam.
Hey PJ.
Alright, today I'll be interviewing you on rugby in New Zealand. Alright, today I have 5 questions for you. My first question is, how long have you been involved with playing or coaching rugby for?
Okay, so when I first started playing rugby, I was 10 years old, and I played for Rolleston Club, and so then I've been playing for 7 years.
Alright, cool. My second question for you is, what programs / teams were you involved with?
Well, I've been playing. I started off with Rolleston Club, and then I've played some Ellesmere rep, Canterbury Country rep, and then I've been with the Crusader Knights.
Cool. And my third question for you is, since the very start of rugby in 1870, what are some of the things that have changed in today's game?
A big thing that I've noticed is that back in the old days, they used to never lift for a line out. They'd just jump for the ball. So that's a big change that I found. Yeah.
Good. And my fourth question for you is, being in good teams, what makes such a great rugby squad?
The best thing that I would think would be everyone knows each other. Like, we're all comfortable in the environment. Everyone's not afraid to speak up, and we know when to shut up when we need to.
Yeah. And my last question for you is, since playing or coaching, what has been your favourite and best moment?
My favourite moment would have been under 13s. We had a final against West Mountain. We were down by 3 tries, and it was 15 minutes left, and we just pulled the team together, and we managed to score 4 and win.
All right. Thanks for your time, Liam.
Cheers.
On to my next interview. I'm with the starting flanker, Levi Astle here, and we're here to talk about his thoughts on the game. Hi, Levi. So today I have a series of questions for you, all doing with rugby in New Zealand. My first question for you is, how long have you been involved with playing or coaching in rugby for?
I think I would have been involved with rugby, so like playing rugby since I was about 5. So it's about 12 years now, and it's switching in between rugby union and rugby league.
Right, sweet, cool. My second question for you is, what organisations / teams have you been involved with in the past couple of years?
Well, coming from Sumner, I was playing for Sumner for a few years, then switched to league to play for the Papanui Tigers. And then when I moved to Midbury, I played rugby for them, and then I've played rugby for Christ College ever since the start of high school.
Alright, that's good. And my third question for you is, since the very start of rugby in New Zealand, what are some of the things that have changed ever since?
I think a big thing is just the speed of the game. The speed of the game has just gone so much quicker since 1870. Also, it's becoming a lot more physical game. As we see, there's a lot more injuries in today's era of rugby compared to what happened in 1870. And then obviously lots of rules changing, but yeah.
Sweet. And my fourth question for you is, being in the teams, what makes it a great rugby squad?
First of all, having great leaders always helps. Lead the field, hard-working team. Also, coaches can help. When the coaches are good, it helps the team do well and perform well, and for the players to have fun.
That's right. And my last question for you is, since playing rugby, what has been your best moment?
Watching Flynn Topham score the winning try in the final against Nelson for Christ College last year. Thank you.
Sweet. Thank you, Levi. And on to my very last interview. I'll be interviewing Flynn Topham, the other flanker of the side. Hi, Flynn.
Joe.
Alright, today I'll be interviewing over a series of questions for you. My first question is, how long have you been involved with playing or coaching in rugby for?
I've been involved playing ever since I was about 7 years old at Kiwi. So I started out there, then went to Midbury and played a bit there, and now I'm here at college playing.
Alright, cool. My second question for you is, what organisations / teams were you involved with?
Well, yeah, Kiwi to start with, up until I was 11. and then I moved to Medbury. I was there from under 11s to under 13s, so played there. And then, here at college from year 9 to year 13 this year, so been up the ranks here.
Great. And since the very start of rugby being introduced in 1870 for New Zealand, what are some of the things that have changed significantly?
Lots of things really, especially rucks. Rucks have changed a lot. Obviously, years ago they were really sloppy and there was rucking going on, but now it's kind of more, it's a lot different. And scrums have definitely changed as well to become safer. So
All right, cool. And my fourth question for you is, being in teams, what makes a great rugby squad?
Obviously leaders, people around you, definitely, and then just having good coaches, having a good setup, and just staying positive the whole time.
All right, cool. My last question for you is, since playing, what has been your favourite and best moment you've ever been with?
Probably last Saturday actually when Alex Spate, a rugby veteran, a journeyman some may say, made his debut for the first 15 and he played well.
All right, thanks for your time, Flynn.
Thank you.
Thanks, PJ and the boys, for the interview. As we can see from the interviews, there have been a lot of changes in rugby down the line, but based on the evidence, most of the rules may apply to what position you are. For example, someone as a winger wouldn't be affected in the introduction to lineouts because it's not his role and position. So with that being said, I'd like to thank the boys once again for doing the interview, giving us some insight on the game. Thank you for listening.